Mumbai is called a concrete jungle, and everyone living in this fast paced jungle usually has to drive out of town to get in touch with nature now and again. But wouldn't it be wonderful to see nature growing and taking its natural place all around you? Wouldn't it be better if we feel the need to take a trip to Lonavala ever so often? Ecosystem restoration does just that. A process of reversing the degradation of ecosystems such as landscapes, lakes, and oceans to regain the ecological functionality. In other words, to improve the productivity and capacity of ecosystems to meet the society. To give us a total overview of the importance of energy and transport in ecosystem restorations for cities, we have with us Mrs. Ashpreet Sethi. She is the manager of RMI India and she works in policy advocacy and communications from a think and do tank on clean energy. I would now like to invite Ashpreet ma'am to take this event forward.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy World Environment Day. It's one of the days which are very important for the energy sector. Now, a lot of you must be wondering, what does a think tank do? So a think tank is a space or a place or an organization where we are a group of experts who try and inform government and corporates and the society on how to make the energy transition better for environment and how to make sure that we work towards ensuring that climate change is addressed and how we can make the planet better. So that is what we do from our end. My topic is related to transforming or restoring energy and transport sectors in cities. I'm going to try my best to not make it technical because what we work on is very technical, but we can always focus on what all of us together as a society can do. So let me start by, I don't have a presentation, so I will mostly be talking. So if you have questions while I'm giving few pointers, please go ahead and put it in the chat box. Happy to follow the process that was followed earlier. Also, just to give you some perspective, India has pledged as part of the Paris Agreement to reduce its carbon emissions by 2050 and by 2030 to a very, very high margin. Now, as far as the 2030 carbon emissions targets are concerned, they are almost met. That is what the government is saying right now. So most of you must be wondering, how are carbon emissions caused and why are they harmful for us? Why does everyone keep saying carbon emissions and carbon footprint, why it's important to reduce them? So mostly if you see, there are cars running on the road, there are industrial units that are running, there's a lot of chemical coming out. Farmers in different agriculture societies, they burn their crops. So there's a lot of fume that goes in the air. So these are some ways in which carbon emissions are caused. But what does this lead to? Now, this is a very important aspect. Climate change. Yes, climate change is real. Pollution, adverse effect on people's health. You see, there have been deaths as far as pollution concerns are concerned. People have died. Carbon emissions also raise the global temperatures by trapping solar energy in the atmosphere. Now, that's very harmful for people like you and me, every living being on the planet. And not such a fun fact. Did you know there are 22 of the world's most polluted cities, and those are in India? So what are the major causes? Air pollution. Of course, I gave you the example of farmers burning crops. Waste burning, because we don't have enough waste recycling plants. Construction activities, industrial activities, electricity generation, biomass combustion for cooking, and transportation. That is one of the most aggressive sectors that is contributing. This doesn't mean that we stop growing. We have to grow, but we have to grow right. We have to make sure that we keep our planet intact. So what can cities do? Cities can improve their public transport. So when you and I are traveling on buses and trains, we can take transport which is being run on alternate energy rather than petrol, diesel, which is harming the environment. So cities can look at how they can deploy different kinds of public transport which are run on alternate forms of energy like hydrogen, electric, and there are many more which are coming up. Also promote the green number plate. Cities like Mumbai are encouraging people to buy electric vehicles through discounts. They're also creating awareness about their benefits. More awareness campaigns can also be held, especially at institutions like yours, to make sure that young people know about the benefits of electric vehicles and other vehicles. Now, Dr. Sarika, sorry if I could use your example. I know that she's recently bought an EV, an electric vehicle. She has a two-wheeler. And the best part is that it is not very difficult to charge that e-wheeler. An electric vehicle works in such a fashion that you have to charge it, you have to plug it in, like we charge our phones, like we charge our electronic equipment. So she charges it in her parking lot. So it's not that difficult. This is something many people can adopt going forward. Also, cities can encourage people to install solar panels at their homes and industries and factories by providing them at a very lower cost. Now the cost has come down drastically. So you and I can install solar panels, maybe small ones, and use it for smaller efforts. So these are some things that cities could do. But what can we do at our level? At your level, what can we do? Now, we all know that young people are the future of the country. And as Dr. Sarika said, and I agree with her, we are very sorry. While I'm not that old, but yes, I have been part of the generation that is causing some harm to the planet. So, what can we do? What can you do? We can participate in these awareness drives by listening and volunteering to create that awareness. For instance, just for an example, you can form a committee in your college comprising of school children, of teachers, of professors, of experts, whoever you think from outside can be part of it. Educate yourself about climate change, educate yourself about different kinds of energy technologies that are coming up, which can help you adopt these technologies at home, and then spread the learning with your peers. Spread that learning in your conversations across the table during lunch, dinner, breakfast with your family. We can also go home and talk to people about these things. For instance, if a family member or you or your father and mother, sister, whoever is planning to buy a vehicle, why not tell them the benefits of electric vehicles or vehicles that are being run on alternate energy? Why not tell them what are the cost effectiveness or what kind of cost will they bear and how it will also ensure that the climate is literally not shedding tears and the pollution comes down drastically. So there have been many findings that if you switch to electric vehicles and other forms of vehicles, pollution comes down drastically and the city you're living in becomes livable. Like Usha was saying, you don't have to run to Lonavala all the time. You can make Mumbai a better place as well. So these are small things. Also, we can learn more about how to install solar power, how it works, so that it's easier and we learn how to install it at our homes. It can be used for smaller things. Like I know many of my friends are using small solar panels just to charge their phones and electronics. That's the first step. So you can also do it, I can also do it. Now, why is it important for young minds like you to do it? And why is this webinar so very important at this point of time? Because you are the future of this country. You will be part of an ecosystem where you will drive change. You will have the power to change things for the benefit of the country. Some of you will be in politics, some of you will be in the education system, many of you will work in the government, many of you will have businesses, you'll be entrepreneurs, and you'll be working in different companies and even working with think tanks. I really hope that many of you will make a career as far as the climate sector is concerned. So it's very important that you learn more and understand why your role is very important in the current scenario as well as in the future. Because as the topic rightly says, there is no planet B. So we need to make sure that our planet survives for everyone in the future generations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Sea of wisdom and knowledge. We are all very grateful for your input. And if anyone has questions, please put them in the chat box so ma'am can answer.
Ashpreet, if I can ask you a question uh, from an institutional perspective, uh, like I did mention in my opening remarks, I think you all joined in the later part, that we also want to conceptualize the concept of green initiatives. And what so far we have done is that we've gone into kitchen garden, which is like, going for local, seasonal, sensitizing students about, connecting nutrition to agriculture, trying to, work towards eating sustainable, eating right, eating safe. The second thing which we've done is we worked around energy audit. So we've done our electrical audit, we've done fire audit. We're in the process of doing fire audit. So what are some of the things which you recommend, under the Green Initiative, we as an institution can, I mean, after doing this, what would be your checklist, so to say that, you must do these first one, two, three, four, these four things? Yeah.
Uh, Ma'am, I would strongly suggest that if you have, I'm assuming you might have few solar panels in school, in your schools and colleges, because I think it's mandatory or compulsory for.
Yeah, solar panels, we've been blessed, Ashpreet, that, we have a huge campus and we have a very open roof. So, our Honorable Vice Chancellor has been very magnanimous to kind of get the whole one part of the building roof covered with solar panels. So, that has drastically cut down our electricity bills. So, that's something which we've already achieved. So, beyond that, what else? Yeah.
That's very good to hear, ma'am. Also, if you could educate your children about that, like a lot of institutions, like even my institution, though I've passed out some 15 years ago, but uh, even there, the children know that there's a solar panel, but they don't know how does it operate, or what is the impact, what is the effect on the climate. So maybe if you could educate them about that, that will also help your institution to see how you can become a fully solar panel operated institution. This is, I know it's too soon, but this is something that needs to be done in the future to save our planet. Also, second, if you have a fleet of cars or buses, and if they are old and if you're willing to switch, it will be a good idea to switch to electric vehicles. So you could adopt electric cars. You could also have electric buses who are ferrying students from one place to the other. So these are few small steps. The kitchen garden idea is very good, ma'am. But the problem with that is that it just remains, it's confined to the ground. We also need to think, like Dr. Sarika also said, that trees are there. People need to think about their livelihood. So maybe you could also blend in such a way that you have a program, a skilling program, where you can help your students understand what are alternate energies. How do you use them in the present scenario? How do you use them in the future? How can you and I use it? How can Ma'am Madan use it? And how can a student use it? So it would be very good to have a place where people feel secure to talk about these things, because many times I have been, as a student, I wanted to know more about the environment, but I was too scared to ask anyone. So this is something that I would highly recommend if it's possible for you.
Okay. Yeah. So, Vipra, would you like to add to the conversation? Vipra, are you there? Because I think mass communication, they have, you know, a subject which deals with the application of all these concepts. Okay, I think Vipra, can you hear me? No. Okay. Anybody else? Chetna from RM, or Himani? Himani, would you like to contribute to the conversation?
Yeah, hi Ashpreet ma'am. I think we had a discussion a couple of days back that we are looking at some kind of green initiative to be taken ahead in our institution. So we were looking at doing a green audit, so which encompasses everything. It includes the energy, also it includes the other aspects of climatic, things that we need to take care in the institution. So we as an institution are looking forward to collaborate with Ra Foundation and take furthermore steps towards sustainability. So I'm sure we will soon connect, and because we are looking at making the campus green and environmentally sustainable. And there are a lot of initiatives that we had taken under green practices. So, but I'm sure these are baby steps, and there's a long way to go. And I think any efforts that goes towards sustainability has no limit. I think we can keep going on, and and like ma'am you said, it's very essential that we need to sensitize our students. Though we very often keep sessions where we sensitize them about the green practices, but I'm sure, I think we need to take stronger steps to sensitize them, so that even they kind of, we do hand holding, and then we collectively move towards green practices. So yes, definitely looking forward to.
Um, Ma'am, may I? Sometimes the button gets lost with the phone when I'm there. So I would just like to say that these initiatives, the Department of Mass Communication has uh, ventured into for the last many years, and we are doing things in our own small way. We used to have a subject titled as Appropriate Technology for Better Living, and now we have sustainable development. And one of the important activities for appropriate technology for better living was that the students would create uh, models. They would of appropriate technology, alternate energy. And we one very interesting thing we did was we used to showcase with the community women. So we used to gather the community women and also students and even the class 4 staff, teachers, whosoever was free at that time. They would organize a film documentary. They used to showcase the documentary on environment, on energy management, on carbon footprints, on the 3 hours, and then there would be a discussion on that, and that used to happen. So when I was listening to both of you, I thought that this is a very very good opportunity that the department can collaborate with your organization and strengthen this arm, strengthen this task of creating meaningful associations for the students and the community.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things, one of the threads, Ashpreet, you really brought in very strongly is to take the sensitization as a movement. And in some of our specializations, we have initiated clubs. So so it could be an environment club or something which we can create, wherein every month you have some sessions on some aspect which either we are doing or we can do. So starting from knowing it, we start brainstorming together as to if we have, then how we can make the most of it. If we don't have, then what steps we take to get it. So I think these are very wonderful thoughts. So Ashpreet,
I, ma'am, I would also like to seize the opportunity to, have an internship collaboration with the NGO, because there are a lot of students who would be interested in taking up internships with them.
yeah,
So,
so I think these are very good suggestions which have come in. And both Rajashri, she also is actively involved in environment studies, because she takes care of those subjects with Dr. Dere. And Vipra also has this as a part of their curriculum. So I think this is going beyond the classroom and kind of taking even other students along, and getting that sensitization done. Thank you very much, Ashpreet. It was very nice to hear your thoughts.
Thank you so much.
Now we move forward. Thank you so much, everyone.